So it's Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. I'm still in Alberta. This is Darci's Corner. And the pandemic is still going on, by the way. I only mention that because who knows how many years from now somebody might see this video and wonder what was going on then. Why is it relevant now? Why didn't we do anything? Or were we doing enough? Time will tell. Anyway, I've come a long way in terms of becoming me. I've not been Darci for the last 3 years, and there are people now who only know me as Darci. Now, that doesn't mean that my life is great. It's a shambles in all sorts of areas. But at least my life is mine now, and I get to spend the rest of it as me. I could never go back to living as him, even though he was a very nice guy, and I didn't hate him or anything. But I could never go back to living as him, and it's important to note that if you have a transgender person in your life, particularly if you know that they're struggling, you should know that this is a really hard thing for people to adjust to and change to. And I didn't think I was going to make it past Christmas. Last December, I was basically told that I'm just a monster, and if I ever meet anybody that's filthy and pornographic, and how dare I tell anybody, and they had me believing that I was the worst kind of sex offender, and I hadn't sexually offended anybody. I didn't even try to touch anybody, nor did I want to. But it was a horrible experience for me. And they let me know that if ever I expressed anything ever, that obviously meant that I was a deviant, and they had me convinced I was a monster. I was going to end my life that day. It was December 8th. I recorded a goodbye message on this phone. I'm not feeling that way today, and I hope that I never go back to feeling that way. It's easy to backslide into those negative spirals because you sometimes feel very overwhelmed or alone or ashamed of your existence. There was an incident at work today where my boss called me sir, and he tries real hard to not call me sir. I have asked him not to, and when he realizes he does it, he winces because he's trying to be polite when he calls me sir. He's not trying to provoke anything, and I've expressed to him like that I don't like that, and it bugs me. Please stop doing it. But I said it in a way that was polite, also, and he acknowledged it and was quite understanding, I would say. But he still calls me sir all the time, And it's just his way of saying good morning or how are you doing or whatever. He's not trying to make a point when he does that. And I've gotten to the point now in my confidence level, at least, to just tell people at work, I'm trans, I'm not a boy, I don't want a room in the men's locker room, or a locker in the men's locker room, please. No, thank you. Okay. Um, and I had somebody pull me aside today and tell me that I just need to keep that sort of thing to myself because it's private and no one else needs to ever hear about it. Now, they were trying to coach me so that I wouldn't cause problems in the office. Because didn't I know people were on the phone? Well, for one, I didn't know people were on the phone because this particular person at that time was wearing a mask and a headset. So all I heard and seen was them look at me and say, sir. So I had no way of knowing they were on the phone. That would have clued me into the fact that they weren't talking to me. But from my perspective, I couldn't tell. And I'm not trying to cause instances in the office, nor am I throwing a fit. But I think it's important for me that I establish now that I am not this and I have boundaries. But I'm not trying to make a scene or dwell on things. But then I remember if I don't guard myself, if I don't guard my dysphoria, if I just allow it to happen as though it doesn't matter, like sometimes those days add up, and then I have a day where I feel ugly. And it's, I am ugly, so people are very kind and call me beautiful, and I'm glad they do. I am so very grateful for those people. But I have a mirror. I have eyes. I have ears. I can hear my voice, especially when I play it back. I know I sound and look like a dude. I know this deep voice is probably, seems like it's a hill too far. But I'm going to keep trying to climb that hill, but it's not going well. So, we ask ourselves this question more often than I would like. Like, how hard do I want to fight? What am I fighting for? I bought a life insurance policy with a 2-year suicide clause in it, knowing that I might use it. I bought it so that if it gets too hard and I check out, at least people don't have to pay for my funeral. That's why I bought it. Did you buy a life insurance policy with a suicide clause in it, thinking ahead of time you might use that? That's why they make them 2 years out. But I know dysphoria can come back anytime. I just hope I make it 2 years. I was not going to be here this Christmas. So, to all you people who watch this, who are friends and family, who have sent me things like, why don't I go back? Why don't I stop doing this? What you're saying me do that is, why did I let somebody stop me on December 8th when I wanted to end all this? By the way, there's no one to stop me now. There's just me. I'm not a monster. And I think my life is worth living. But it's important that I keep thinking that. So, forgive me if I don't forgive you for encouraging my suicide. This is it's a weird thing to deal with. I wish I'd been given better tools as a child, as a young adult, in managing my gender. I just have to go forward with what I have now. Anyway, Darcy's Corner. Peace.